The most exciting fight, in my opinion, right now, is Inoue versus Nakatani. Both Japanese, probably both the best in their division on the planet. I think this has got fight of the year contender all over it. I really hope it lives up to its reputation because this fight here is exciting. It is fireworks. It is everything goes, and it's like Nue obviously will be going in his favourite, but my God, this is not an easy fight for him. If there's one fighter you might think who might beat him on this planet, it is probably Nakatani. Is this going to be the biggest Japanese fight of all time? I believe so. My history might do me wrong, and if there's any Japanese fans, let me know if I have missed out certain fighters. But I just feel like the boxers you've got right now, this is a golden generation of so many great boxers. And I think this is the pinnacle. Like, these are probably, in my opinion, the two best in their division. For pound implications, I think whoever wins gets accelerated to either number one or number two. I'll be shocked if anyone else is above that. Maybe you could argue maybe Shakur, but that'd probably be it. Definitely now with the fact that Bud Crawford's retired as well, so like who's really going to be above them? So yeah, man, this has got fight of the year written all over it. If I was to call it, I'm just going to go with the champion, go with Inoue, but it's not a confident call, you know what I mean? It's like, I think Inoue, I think if he beats him, no one's beating him. But if there's a guy to beat him, this is the guy to beat him. And that's how exciting the fight is. And that's why, for me, I'm calling it. I think this has got fight of the year written all over it. I really hope it lives up to its expectation and doesn't let me down. But for me, this has got fight of the year written all over it. Now, the promoters world right now is crazy. And I'm all here for it because the pettiness, the wanting to do better is making 10 times better fights. So a few weeks ago, the boxing world was turned upside down when Conor Benn left Matchroom Eddie Hearn to join Zuffer, Dana White's Zuffer. Eddie Hearn and Dana White had been sending shots for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's funny because you think a few years ago before Dana White was in boxing, they had like a lot of mutual respect for each other. And now they're competing against each other. They're just, shouting name calling. I think Dana White, with obviously Seller, and TKO, was being able to hand out these big contracts and big pays. It was like, I'm going to poach Conor Benn, you're one of your biggest stars in your stable, and I'm going to take him over just as a big, I don't know, but just a big move. It's really interesting because it's like, Conor Benn got offered, I think, was it $15 million? In a one-fight deal. He's now fighting on the Tyson Fury card. He's fighting Regis Prograis' co-main event. It would be mad if they're giving him $15 million for that fight because I would have thought they would have tried to get maybe the Ryan Garcias of this world to fight him. But, get one of those big guys, obviously over in America. But this is at a catchweight at 150. We're going to see Regis Prograis. I think obviously he's at his latter stages, but he is a top fighter. It's not going to be easy for Conor, but if there's probably a time to catch Regis Prograis, probably whilst he's on his decline, but it's not going to be an easy fight. But does this warrant $15 million? In my opinion, I don't think so. $15 million, I'm talking, I want to see the biggest fights. I want to see one against maybe a Ryan Garcia. I'd like to see one maybe against Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney, one of these guys. And in my opinion, they at 147, they will smoke Conor. I think Conor, in my opinion, is too big to be a 147 now. Fought at 160 for 2 fights. It's hard to keep that power and speed if you really drop down. I think at 154 is probably his future. And can I see him beating Boots Ennis? Absolutely not. So I think that's why I think he wants to try fight at 147, get the paydays. But no, really interesting to see. I reckon I don't reckon it's a one-fight deal. It's agreed as a one-fight deal, but I can imagine them fighting for quite a few fights. But obviously, there'd been the outroar from Eddie Hearn. I fully understand him as well, it's like he'd lent like a lot of money to him, He'd supported him when the whole world was saying why he's supporting the drugs cheat, having to go on things like TalkSport where Simon Jordan was calling him out. You know, he had his back. You know what I mean? Like, I know, yes, he's your fighter, and yes, obviously there's a commercial value as such, but I also felt like that one went from beyond the relationship of just like, that's my promoter, he gets me fights. Like, he did genuinely care and want to do for the best. You know, it got quite personal. You know, you can tell Eddie Hearn, he wanted him to beat Eubank Jr. so bad. Like, it got personal, and I think that's why it was upsetting. But I don't blame Conor Bennett at the same time, because you've got to go where the biggest paycheck sends you.